This is Sex Positive with Chet and Diane. I'm Diane.
And I am Chet, and we are a couple that likes to have a whole lot of sex. We are not licensed or trained therapists, but we want to share our knowledge and our sexual experience with the world. We're going to be answering calls on this episode of Sex Positive. As always, we're joined by our awesome producer, Wells. How are you doing today, Wells?
I am ecstatic. I am titillated to be here. How are you all?
We are titillated as well.
So we're also joined by our guest expert. He's a polyamorous sex toy expert. Welcome to the show, Peter Ross.
I'm so happy to be here and so happy to spread sex positivity to the world.
Who's our first caller, Wells?
We have Richard, and he has a question about vasectomies.
Richard, you are sex positive right now with Chet and Diane. How are you doing?
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. You can hear me right now?
Oh, of course, yeah. You were on the TV.
This is a dream come true. Yeah, the name's Richard Severs.
So what can we do for you there, Richard?
I had a question about vasectomies. I'm retired. I was a glass worker up in the UP in Michigan, but I'm one of them snowbirds moved down to Florida.
Oh, that's a big difference, yeah.
You know, down in Florida, they doing a thing now that Ron, he's letting people just veterans or spouses of veterans just teach in schools now.
Oh,
and yeah, all you got to do is have served in the military or just be boinking someone that did, and you can be a teacher.
Yeah, no qualifications needed.
That's true. They're kind of opening up the world for other avenues as well, because there's a real shortage of medical professionals now, because of the COVID. And I was wanting to know, how do you do vasectomies? I feel like I could, I cut a lot of glass in my day, working with glass.
You want to cut the vas deferens of a male. Stop
the sperm from traveling through
it. So.
Oh, is that what you do?
Yeah, it's just it doesn't translate from cutting glass to cutting a vas deferens. You have to have a scalpel. I've never done a vasectomy, but Peter, do you have one?
Yeah, I did have a vasectomy. I highly recommend. It's life affirming for you because you get to have all the sex you want without any of the risks for you or your partner as a result. It's a wonderful procedure if done by a professional who knows what they're doing. I already bristled at you mentioning glass in the same sentence as a vas deferens because those are two things I don't want near each other. There's really no comparison between glass and a vas deferens. Nope. They could not be more different materials and how you treat them. It concerns me how little it sounds like you know about the procedure going right in. I mean, can you fill us in on what you do know so we have a little more perspective here?
Yeah, you gotta keep the sperm from coming out the hole. You stop the baby maker from making it all the way downtown.
That's
Technically,
right.
that is scientifically accurate. That part at least.
Like I said, old Ron is he's okay with it. Anybody that kind of knows. I got that's a lot with cutting, and that's all you really need to know. To make it happen.
No, I think you need more.
You need to know how to make a precise incision. Do they do it on the actual scrotum, right? They cut the scrotum and then they go in with a little camera?
They don't even need a camera. I mean, it's typically done by a small incision, and then they use tools to pull the vas deferens out slightly, snip, and then they usually tie and then cauterize. I mean, there's different techniques. I'm just describing one, which, by the way, is not a how-to guide. I want to make sure when I describe this is not for you to follow step by step. I'm just saying.
Okay, I'm writing that down as a footnote then.
Nope, definitely don't do it on your own.
Yeah,
that is not all right.
Yeah,
Wells?
Florida also has a shortage of gynecologists, so maybe you could be an OBGYN, deliver babies instead. That might be safer.
Oh.
Yeah, definitely don't.
I mean, I don't think I'm qualified for that.
Yeah, thank you for getting that. Yeah,
yes.
Very nice.
I didn't deliver any babies. Are you out of your mind?
Yes. Thank you, Wells.
My apologies.
Yeah, there's some other alternative methods. I know in India they do have
the Vasagel.
The Vasagel.
Yeah,
it is
or Vasgel, I think. Yeah.
Or Gasgel.
Vasgel. I think.
Vasgel.
Yeah, or Gasgel, something that Diane and I use is completely different. But
yeah, that's what I've been calling my ejaculate or Gasgel since. About 72.
Oh, yeah. So this Vasgel, they insert a needle into the vas deferens and they coat your vas deferens with an epoxy so that when the sperm travel down, the epoxy creates a static electricity and it just literally rips them apart. And they've actually found this to be somewhat effective against HIV and other sexually transmitted infections that'll destroy the virus as it goes through the vas deferens. They still wouldn't recommend having unprotected sex, but if you're
a lot more pathways there to get a virus than just the vas deferens.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Well, wait a minute. You're saying you shoot some epoxy into the penis there.
This is something
You're
that's
just saying
only been done in...
You put cock? I deal with cock.
Not cock. Definitely don't put cock in there.
Cock.
No cock on
I
cock.
cock plenty of windows.
C-A-U-L-K. Don't put that inside
cock.
of...
So you're just saying I could put some cock in the cocks
No,
and then
so
that's it? I don't even need to do cutting?
First of all, this isn't FDA approved. It's only been happening in India, and so they
still in trials, I think.
We're talking about Florida here. Florida isn't FDA approved.
That's fair and a problem of its own. Yes.
Florida, the state itself, is not FDA approved?
That's correct. Yeah. The whole state.
That does not surprise me, yeah.
We just have sex and we use condoms, and that's just how we do it. And we don't need to have any type of hormones or anything.
If accidents happen, it happens.
Because we're married and we're happy, and if we have a baby, that's great. But I can control my ejaculate so that I don't actually ejaculate when I have an orgasm. I can hold it back. But how would you feel if I was like, hey, I want to get a vasectomy?
I would say no.
No? You just flat out no? All right, well, that's her decision, and I respect that. That is my duty as a husband here.
That conversation seemed very short for what you were asking.
That was very short. I was expecting a longer conversation there. Hey, but you got me thinking, if we're going to be plugging vas deferens in holes with, some cock, or just cutting them completely and just stopping the flow, do I need to be putting in a drain tube for all that fluid, for all the spermies to go somewhere else?
The sperm cells, they just get obliterated and they rip apart, and so
they get reabsorbed back into the system realistically. So that's the least.
So no drain tube.
That is really the least of your concerns. The first concern should be a complete lack of understanding of
you're making my stomach turn. You're telling me that when you did a vasectomy, your body just starts guzzling your own cum?
I mean, that's a way you could describe it. Yeah.
Well, hopefully we steered you to the point where you don't do these
don't think we did
procedures on your own.
Or on anybody else for that matter.
Yeah.
So
no, I mean, I still gotta make a living. What am I gonna live off of, Social Security?
Or just glass cutting. That's a good one.
Yeah. Also, I'll point out in Florida, there's no end of needing to cut new glass. With the hurricanes there, it's always blowing through. You've got a great career already. Stick to what you're good at.
Exactly, which is not giving vasectomies.
All right, not promising anything.
Well, thank you, my friend. Please stay sex positive and also keep it safe, sane, and consensual.
Good night.
Good night.
If you need a vasectomy, you know who to call.
Did you find that the vasectomy was painful?
No, not painful. I would say it is a surprisingly uncomfortable experience, purely because you may not have a comfort with a doctor, with someone you don't have a personal relationship with, interacting with the area. But on top of that, when they pull the vas deferens out to cut it, you feel it tugging low in your belly. It's a very strange place to feel the sensation, because it's connected way up there. So that is startling. And then I'll say the smell of them burning the vas deferens.
God.
It's not a part of your body you want to smell burning.
Yeah, they're reversible, right?
So they do consider them reversible to some degree. They definitely don't guarantee it can be reversed, because there's always catches there. They also, the doctors will usually say they consider it reversible up to about 10 years. After that point, there's degradation in ways that
the less likely that it can be reversed.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Let's take a quick break to relube our toys.
Hey, Tom's here. I can't play, guys.
Is it because of your sagging scrotum?
How'd you know?
We can all see your nuts, Tom.
We've all been there. My scrot was constantly getting pinched between my leg and bike seat.
My turkey neck would get caught in my gun holster leg strap.
And I couldn't stand my sack dipping into the toilet water when I took a dump.
We got our confidence back and a better self-image by going to Dr. Heidenball Scrotoplasty services.
She gives the best scrotoplasty in the Tri-County area.
Hi, I'm Dr. Heidenball. If you're like millions of men suffering from saggy testicles, then tighten up your package and your dignity with the Scrotoplasty. I use the tri-hammock technique to cinch up your dangle pouch, but ensure that your boys don't get pinched between your pelvic floor muscles when you move.
I feel like I'm 20 again.
Your balls will look more in line with the rest of your body proportions.
I'm now the hottest guy in the office.
Come into our state-of-the-art facility for a free consultation to see if perky, youthful balls are right for you. We also offer a wide range of other male genital health options, such as penile Botox, shaft lengthening, girth balloons, and corona straightening. Men who have my Scrotoplasty will experience higher self-esteem, less testicular torsion, and a better sex life.
Grab a hold of your life and let Dr. Heidenball grab a hold of your balls.
Well, as you all know, I've lost some confidence ever since my divorce from my porcupine bitch of an ex-wife.
Wow.
And so I've been looking for a life coach to kind of see if I can get my mojo back. So we're all gonna ask a few questions to some prospective life coaches.
So who do you have up?
We have Bill here.
Oh no, this is Dick Colby, right?
Isn't that Dick?
This is Dick. You
Dick
lied to
Colby.
you. It's not Bill, it's Dick.
I'm sorry about that.
Wait, Dick, what are you? I mean, I thought you were just here just to be a guest
I didn't think I
specialist.
was qualified, so I kind of changed my name on the application.
You don't
Yeah.
recognize Dick? He's been on
We're
the show.
splitting hairs here, Chet. The
I'm just
point
saying.
is, can Dick fix my entire fucking life?
Wow, that's a big question. Take the guilt that you feel on the mistakes that you've made and shove it way down deep. Just shove it down deep and ignore it.
It seems like you need a therapist, Dick.
I'm happy.
That ruined it for me. Thanks for coming in anyway.
Yeah, we'll see you the
Richard.
next show there, Dick.
Yeah. Well, Michael, I'm introducing different life coaches. There's a lot of things going on with me in my life, and I'd like to get your take on them.
Sometimes in life, you just got to go with the flow, baby.
Yeah, I like
yeah,
that.
go with the flow.
The
Go with the
flow
flow.
meaning perhaps I'm secretly gay.
Gay, straight, doesn't matter. Just feel it out, and if it feels right, you're doing a good thing.
I like this guy Wells. I like him a lot.
Confident.
Yeah, very confident.
Good thinking right there.
What are you feeling in the moment?
I feel confused and slightly aroused. The dulcet tones of your voice are giving me a 38% of an erection.
I'm hard.
Definitely some extra blood flow down there.
That's just the human experience, the human connection, which is what it's all about.
Michael, what kind of self-love would you recommend for Wells here?
Masturbation. It's the best way.
I'll keep you in mind in my stack, and thank you for your calming presence and your beautiful lyric baritone voice.
Very nice.
Pleasure.
All right, everyone. This is Trent interviewing to be my life coach. Trent, sometimes. Interesting. Sometimes I fantasize about
Very
having.
serious.
It's true. That is it's something we've all thought about, yeah.
Everything's tight, man. Okay.
Okay.
This guy's got your number.
Very good. That's very perceptive. As I was saying, sometimes I fantasize about having sex with a woman on a bridge and then having her push me off and I plunge to my death.
Nice.
What does that mean?
Release.
That's really deep.
Could
Yeah.
be right. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Sometimes, like, I'll go over, Shakespeare Bridge in Silver Lake?
Yeah.
I'll drop a load off the side of that thing.
Wait, you just take a dump?
Poop off of it?
No, drop a load.
I think he
like
means come, yeah.
Oh, I also
I
thought.
thought you were just like hang your ass cheeks
Yeah,
over
so
and
it's
you
like-
take a dump.
and
but
I'll see
now-
how far it'll go.
Yeah,
Boom!
yeah. It jerks off.
Wow.
Set out!
He's a free spirit. He's a free spirit.
Yeah, dude, sometimes you just gotta release, man.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that a lot. So, Stoner,
Stoner,
sorry, Trent,
Trent, Stoner, suit guy.
Yeah.
that's me. That's Chet. So Trent, if let's say
Is that how you address people in the world, man? This guy. Blue couch.
I like Trent.
I like Trent a
I
lot.
think he's
Yeah.
my favorite so
Yeah,
far.
Yeah.
but Trent, let's say Wells is in like some type of crisis and he comes over to your house just crying and he really needs help. What would you say to him right then and there to calm him down?
First and foremost, I don't currently have an apartment.
Okay.
I was asked to leave after I was selling cannabis brownies out of my bedroom.
Ah,
So if you need a roommate, let me know. Currently looking. if
Trent.
you came to my house, first thing we would do, smoke a doob, play some 2K,
Okay.
and figure
Into
shit
that.
out.
How would you encourage Wells to pursue relationships with other people? What does that look like for him, do you think?
I feel like positive words of encouragement. Like, go get some puss, bro.
I like Trent. I think
Yeah.
Trent's
You know
got
what I mean?
the job.
Like,
Yeah.
just say that and then
Alright.
like a fist bump and be like, dude, you're hot.
What do you charge?
a bedroom.
It's a steal.
So I do have a guest house.
There you
Okay,
go.
Trent, you're hired.
All right.
Oh, man.
Thanks, Trent.
All right.
This is cool, man. I was in a place in New Orleans once that had walls like that. Do not put a black light there.
Oh,
You know what I'm
yeah. A lot
saying?
of color.
Release.
That's our episode. Thank you so much for joining in. We're Chet and Diane Hart. We're keeping it sex positive and safe, sane, consensual.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.